So your narcissistic family, they might act like you're nuts. They might act like, oh man, there's something wrong with you, when they're literally doing things or they have done things to provoke you. It's like who you are shines light on the dysfunction in the system. So they're trying to play this game that keeps their reality alive. And on some level, you learn to have this maturity, and you learn that ultimately me breaking out of this cycle, me breaking away from this and becoming the person that I'm made to be, is to eventually not have reactions for these things, but to start to have understanding and forgiveness in a way that doesn't keep you going back, but like they might be here still doing the same old bullshit, but you're far gone. You're gone. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You've left that dysfunctional castle. Let them. And I get it, it's hard. We're talking about insidious, snake-like abuse from your parents, from the people who are supposed to be your safety, your support, and they trick your siblings. They trick little kids, nieces and nephews, and maybe they see your reaction to the provoking, but they don't see the provoking day after day after day after day. It's a real thing. And these are your parents. I've talked to many people, like I just said, this one woman who, she's, God bless her heart, when she had a freaking disease. I don't know if it was a disease. There was something going on with her. She had to go to the hospital. She got down to like 120 pounds. Her fucking mom tricked people in her family. At this point, she had children. Tricked her children. The woman I was talking to, her children. The mom tricked her children and everybody else that she was faking it. Are you crazy? That blows my mind. Like, this woman would attract mates into her life that were clearly not going to be good for her, and the mom would like show up ecstatic because, and the lady told me on the phone that she later figured out that, oh wow, that was the spirit behind my mom. My mom knew that I was going to be in a fucked up relationship. Think about that. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about insidiousness. And what gets you the most is the fact that who you thought everybody was, who you thought you were, what you thought about reality, ripped into pieces and shattered, right? And that fucks with your nervous system heavily. So this is not cool stuff, man. This is covert. It's under the surface. It's snake-like behavior. And it's from your family. It's from your mom, your dad. People deal with it for years. And if you're someone who's waking up to this now, you're blessed. You're blessed, and you have nothing to do but be blessed in this life, man. I'm 24, and thank God I see this stuff, man. It wasn't just my freaking family. I was taught by my family to take responsibility for people who were just like them. And from a very young age, I was attracting people into my life. I had the closest people to me who were narcissistic. It's like I went through the ringer as a kid. It was my brother. It was one of the neighbors across the street, his dad. And then once that was done, my brother and I, it was like sexual abuse for 8 years. And, you know, it was all psychological. It was like my dad taught him in some level how to do these things. And I don't mean he taught my brother how to sexually do anything with me. I don't know where my brother learned that stuff. But the power dynamics that's what it was about. It wasn't about the sexual acts. It was about the power dynamics. And so my dad was intimidated by me as a kid. Like, even when I was a kid, And it sounds ridiculous, but that's what the truth of it is, man. He would team up with my brother. And it wasn't like in these playful ways. I mean, like, really, that you look and you see and you know when you're a kid. When I was 15, and that was when I was older at that point. When I was 15, I knew, like, this guy's trying to snuff me out. He doesn't want me to be who I'm supposed to be. And it's not like I'm supposed to be damn all that. I'm saying the independence, the core of who you are. And you know that if you study narcissism, these people are threatened by your sense of self. So that's what I'm saying. They want to slowly chip away at your sense of self. And this video is a reclaiming of who we are. This video, if you're here, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You are a blessed person because you have eyes to see. I know you've been through the fire, but this was for your purpose, your testimony, your life. Not just to be stuck on this stuff and be talking about this stuff for the rest of your life. But this is going to, like, abundance is coming in your life, dude. If it's not already here. So, from 6 to 14, the sexual abuse. And then I had this best friend in my life, his dad. Like, these people who were, like, feeding on your holes, right? The dad was, it's nuts. It's like these people wanted to have hand in the blessings that would come in your life later, while also not trying to not let you grow past a certain point that would make them insecure. And then, like, you know, you taking responsibility for these people in whatever type of way emotionally. And then at the end of the day, you just being the one who's, get out of here. Like, you're the one who's the scapegoat. You're the one who's the, oh, you're selfish. Like, you're treated like shit, but you're expected to keep coming back around, or for them to keep coming back around and be able to feed off of your glow, your compassion, your love, your desire to be seen, your desire to be loved, your desire, whatever the case may be. And these people get you in these binds, and it really fucks with people. I feel like I watched my mom. My dad cheated on her for years. He had my brother before I was born. But after that, it was like years, dude. Years. He would get caught, kept going. He would get caught, kept going. Like a literal kid inside of a body. And now I've gotten to the point many times in my life, I have love for my father. I do. That's what has been tripping me up throughout these years, because it's like, maybe I could make sense of this. Maybe I could understand this. But then you realize, like, dude, that's a different story. Someone cheating on someone for that many, for years like that. Like, dude, come on, bro. And then you get caught, and it's like, so these people, it's sad. It's very sad. And I don't want you to be stuck at this place where you're just recycling what happened to you. Because yes, man, we can speak on the truth all day, but we have to be able to readjust and not be stuck with these people. But anyways, like I said, I was experiencing these things in the family, and then I would experience people outside the family because of the experiences in the family. So when I was 15, a childhood predator, you could say, came into my life. Now, it's hard because I say childhood predator just the way that things went. He probably groomed me, right? But at the same time, he taught me a lot. He really cared about me, whatever that meant. Like, he did teach me a lot. He was someone who was also kind of a scapegoat in his family. He taught me a lot. And whether he was purely feeding off my light or not, these things were not black and white. He was a very intelligent person. He was somebody that spiritually I could learn from. I felt like he emulated myself in a lot of ways. You could say he was just mirroring me. But truth be told, whatever I saw in him was something that I felt like I could be around, because it wasn't like all these other people, which is ironic to what I just said, I know. But it was like he wasn't this, it felt like he was like a little righteous in who he was. And I felt like he made me a better person. But there's things looking back, it's never black and white. It's hard to, my point is that I attracted people into my life like my parents because of the relationships that I had growing up with these people, you know. And these people today, now that you've grown out of that initial position that we're talking about, that position of being the family mule, the scapegoat, the one who feels and sees, and it's not like they can't, but it's like you're like being trained and conditioned to take responsibility for everybody else, or don't speak the truth, or whatever the case may be, right? It's like once you start breaking out of that cycle, it fucking upsets the system. People, oh, you're supposed to be in this role. So people will do what they can to try and snuff you out, try and stomp you down so that you're going to be, again, in that role that allows things to keep going. And it's all unconscious to a degree, not excusing it. A lot of times it's not. Sometimes it's not, I'll say. I don't know how much it is, how much it's not. I can't imagine these things to a degree. I don't understand why the fuck it's like that. Like my dad, I don't get him, dude. I don't get why you were out here cheating on my mom like that. Take myself out of it. Cheating on this woman like that. Not giving a fuck about the consequences for years. Years and years and years and years after getting caught over and over and over again. It's like this dude is, it's hard. But you're the one in your family who broke the system. Glory be to God. So we're here to keep going. We're here to, like, man, you're a beautiful person. I'm not talking to myself. I'm thinking about the people that I can say that about myself, sure, glory be to God. But I'm thinking about the other people that I've met that have been going through these things. Like, it is not a joke. It can seem fuzzy. It can seem like, oh, what's the big deal at first? Even when I'm listening to these people sometimes. Not really. But I'm saying, like, you might not fully see, like, dude, what God is even doing through you, the reason why he's had you go through these experiences in the first place. I've lost my sister, it feels like. My brother, same shit that he was trying to do to me when I was a kid. When I started speaking on this shit, and that's why I'm just kind of speaking on it now. Not because I don't care, but it's because I've cared almost too much. And I don't want to mess up my own integrity. But he would try to guilt me into being quiet as a kid. And if it was up to him, I would never have told my therapist when I was 17 what happened between us. And I would have never told my mom and my dad. But when I did, he had no choice but to kind of like, okay. But then I started to speak on this stuff more, not just for myself, but just for him too. Like, you can't force people to grow. But that's when I started to see the old habits come up, the old patterns of him trying to shut me up, and it's sad, it's sick. These people are insidious. They don't want you to rise in the way that you're supposed to rise because that puts exposure on who they are. It puts exposure on who they are. And so if you're here, I know I don't know you, but man, it is like, I commend you. I commend you. I have love for you as a human being. I know it's funny because it's like, I don't know you. I don't want to sound conceited, like I'm trying to bullshit you, because I'm not. I seriously just, like, these people have wanted to kill people, like their souls, which is arguably almost worse than shooting them, because you're playing a game that's long term, that's all underneath the surface, that tricks people's siblings, that tricks people's aunties and uncles and everybody else, that their son, you, or their daughter, you, or their wife, you, or their husband, you, is this type of person that they're really not. And it's this sad, sick game. And what we as human beings are designed for with one another is love, safety, and security. And so when you're doing everything in your power to rip and be in control, because you, who you are, is just this deeply ashamed and insecure person, it's like, I don't understand that. Dude, I dealt with them all in my family, dude. I'm 24. I'm probably blessed to be able to see these things, but it is hard. It's not easy. My life's been hard in this kind of way. You know, it's not been the worst life in the world. You know, I'm not trying to be a victim about it, but it's acknowledging what, like my neighbors, it wasn't just my family, dude. It was the families that I grew up in. And then that childhood maybe predator. I don't even know if he was a childhood predator. I don't even know who half these people are. Like I've been like in a place where my body, my nervous system, I don't trust like who I grew up with. I try putting the pieces together and it gets to a certain point. It's like, who is who? Because like I said, I saw my mom disintegrate over the years. And I wanted to like be that man for her that she didn't have. I was a son husband. And I was like the only one who could see her. She would cry to me. She would talk to me about things. But then it became a point. Is she the one manipulating me? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? It's not a joke. And so luckily, man, there's people like Devin kept going on YouTube. He's a solid dude. He's a cool guy, man. He's a cool guy. He's got a good heart. Like you can just see. And so I'm bringing him up because go watch their YouTube videos. There's people like these, like me, like you, who have been out here. You're not alone. And you need to find support. And he has a group. We're going to put a group together here. I want to be able to get things tighter niched together so we can all like grow closer. But what I like about Devin is he's got a relationship with God, and he's got a relationship that I can relate with God to a great degree, to a good degree. And so it's like glory is to God, meaning this is because of God. And I've been able to see because of my own insight and people like Devin that this has been purposeful. I've been going through these things on purpose. And it's like wild, but it's like, this is purposeful. This has been here for a reason. For whatever reason that may be, it's really to make who you are into who you're going to be, man. It really is. Because they don't make leaders like you and I anymore, dude. There's not a lot of people like us. There's not a lot of people with these big hearts that were trained to be these scapegoats as kids, that were trained to, be like stepping stools for these people's egos as kids. There's not a lot of people like that. Or maybe there are. But when that person breaks out of that system and starts to wake up, and they do even more things to double down, quadruple down on you, to bind you up even more, when you survive that, and you get out and you start living a life where you produce love, you produce fruit through God, like, dude, come on, dude. Tell me it's not purposeful after that. Tell me, man. So I love you, all right? And join this freaking channel. I don't care about my subscribers. I don't care about my views. All I care about is that, like, the parts of me make it through. The parts of you make it through. I care about, and when I say make it through, I'm talking about for you really already have. If you're on this video, especially this far, or even at any point, you already have. Even if you're in it right now, you're living with these people and you can see, Your biggest problem now is the fact that, like, you just have to get the fuck out and stop trying to convince these people that you're not who they're saying you are, because that's how they fucking get you. And it's sad. It's sad. It's painful. But that pain is beautiful. I'm not trying to romanticize it, but it's beautiful because of what God's being able to do through it. So it's not easy. You might go through addiction. You might go through homelessness. You're talking to him right here. You know, I didn't go through hard drugs, but smoking weed from 15 to 24, man. Living in my van, live with a childhood predator, dude. Like, God has allowed me to be going through it, dude. And to think that I'm alive today to be able to talk about this, like, tell me that's not God. Tell me that's not your confirmation that where you are, you're okay. Even if you're in the fire right now, you are made to be exactly where you're made to be. Right here, right now. Because you got a process that you're going through. It's not always fun, but brace the fuck up. And I say that with love. Because when you do, there's nothing but abundance, man. And it's something that takes its time too. Like, I can only speak for myself and the people that I've talked to in these very same circumstances. The abundance starts off with the fact that you can see. It starts off with the fact that you're gifted with the assurance, with the confirmation, and it's hard. Again, these things, that's why I use the word insidious, because these things are not playfully fun. They're not, it's not just you scraping your knee, man. You know, it's like, for some people, it's lifetimes, a lifetime. It's a lifelong thing. You know, like I was telling some girl, like, today, I'm not going to have, Thanksgiving with my family this year or whatever. And I've done this before, but it's like, I said it out loud and it's kind of like, damn. You know, you see other people on Facebook and Instagram, they're getting with their family, or it's like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? That's not fun. No one wants to experience that. And, I'm sure God will come through in whatever type of way. But at this point, dude, he's had me going through the freaking wilderness, okay? And when you step out, when you separate from these people, you're going to go through the wilderness. And the wilderness is not punishment, but it's growth time, baby. It's the wilderness is your time to be shaped, to be molded. Really, what's being shaped and molded is your perspective and your relationship with God. The old self is dying away, like I said, that naivety. God bless the naive, but I'm saying, that's why not have a little bit of that innocence in your spirit. But I'm saying the parts of you that was allowing yourself to be abused because of whatever, that old self. So the wilderness is made to shape you and to make you realize that you are only here because of God. And it's not one of those, shame on you, you should feel guilty for a life you didn't ask for. No, that's not what that is. It's to, again, abundance. It's to go back to showing you what the abundance is. It really is here. You are being lifted, carried through, and supported by the one and only. That's what the wilderness is about. It's about showing you who you really are. Not letting these people have the victory over you. That's what this is about. This is about reclaiming, God reclaiming and showing you who you are. Not allowing you to die in a way that's, this is the end. But he's allowing you to make it through and maybe die to these old selves, but make it through so that you can live to see the day that he's got for you, the abundance. You are not going through these things for one on your own and for no reason. You're going through these things so that you can serve your fellow people, man. And you have no clue. You have no clue. Maybe you do, but I'm saying for myself, it's like, all you got is the choices that you're making and the things that you can see. When I was a kid, it was all about, I don't want to be like my dad. And I made these things happen. And it was like I was in a constant race. Race as in constantly having to fucking grow through this stuff. But you realize like that forges you at some point. And it's not easy. But I love myself. There's a child in me, you could say. There's a spirit in me that God placed here intentionally, purposefully. I am His. And it is youthful, it is young, it is beautiful. It is authentic. So you're allowed to go through these things. You're allowed to be the only one in your family who sees. You're allowed to be making steps that might seem crazy. I stepped out into my freaking van, dude. My last time at my parents' house this year. 2 weeks out of the year. Went back literally to get some fucking rest, dude. Part of me was still kind of attached to that system. That's okay. Why would I not be? They're my family. I go there, and they're really not my family, to be honest with you. God has introduced me to who my family actually is. That's the funny part. I told you about that guy, Devin. I go there, same shit, 10 times worse. Get forced out of that situation. They're doing things to try and clamp down, double down, quadruple down, and then pretend like they're not fucking doing that, which is the crazy thing. But they pretend like they're not doing that, right? And then so when they do that, they thought they had me, bro. They thought, all right, we got him this time. God brought me to Devin's group. Now, they're not like my life support, but it's like it means a lot when you connect with people who are going through the exact same thing as you, when your family thinks that they fucking snuffed you out finally this time. But little do they know who's got your back. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. They need your reaction. They need these things from you. They want to paint you into a certain light. They need you to try and climb uphill and prove yourself. Nah. Stand as who the frick you are, baby. Don't go back. Remember that Jesus, I think it was Moses, God brought Moses out of Egypt. And you're not supposed to lead your family out of Egypt unless that's what He's got for you. Chances are it's not. I thought that's what my job was. It's not my job. My job was to be cut the frick off, baby. That's what we needed. So what we need now is we need someone to show us the way. And I kind of want to be here to help show you the way. The way is to not be stuck on these things, but the way is to find the new light, the new life in all these things. Okay?